The Leading Edge Cricket Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, episode 32. I am Rob, one half of the Leading Edge Cricket Podcast, joined bright and early by my co-host Rich.
Good morning, Rob. How's it going?
Good morning. Yeah, we're doing very, very good, thank you. Not quite as good as yourself. There's rumours on the grapevine that you've just secured tickets to see the Super Bowl champions.
Yeah, birds. Yeah, I have tickets. It was a bit of a mess about from Ticketmaster, but somehow my good self, my good lady friend, and also Mr. Bracegirdle have secured tickets to go and see the Super Bowl winning Philadelphia Eagles at Wembley in October. So, yeah, stoked about it, mate, because a lot of people were disappointed, so well happy.
Yeah, I bet you are. You've done many a trip over the years to Philadelphia, and it's nice to get the Eagles coming over to England. Great to hear you are going with your lady friend. I like the fact she's called a lady friend. That's quite a nice way to put it. Gentlemanly.
Yeah, something like that.
And good to see Dave Bracegirdle heading down in the car. Now, there's a lot of cricket brains going on in that car. I don't know how much American football brains there are with a Dolphins fan and an Eagles fan.
Sorry, just worth noting, if anyone follows American football, Rob supports a team called Washington Redskins, which is the most offensive name in all of sports.
Quickly moving on, so what we're going to look at today is we're going to break down the last 10 games of the IPL, games 23 all the way through to games 22. We've got some massive breaking news coming out of Cricket Australia that we're going to get stuck into. However, Rich, you currently find yourself 0-7 in the question of the week. And now, last episode, you didn't actually give us an answer to what was the right question. So the question is, who has scored 17,000 international runs at the start of 2017, but never ever ran a 3? First
off, that was unintentional. I put a pin in it, put it to the end of the episode, but I had a bit of a sore throat, so and also I needed to get tickets for the NFL, so I wanted to jump off as quick as possible. So I did genuinely forget, and until you mentioned it, I had completely forgotten. So I just went and make a cup of tea. I've had a quick think, and my two ideas were either Hassan Amla or Chris Gale, and I doubt it's either of them. But if I had to choose, let's go Gale.
Oh my God, you have actually got one right.
You beauty. I was going Amla, but it was like, nah, he times too many, so he's going to be running 3s.
Chris Gale.
But Amla looked like the sort of guy, he looks like he's not too fussed to, he's quite a chilled out fella. So I was thinking he's not going to be worried about 3s too often.
Yeah, Chris Gale.
But yeah, it had to be Gale, didn't it?
Had to be Gale. The man's a beast. He's come up in question of the week before with the first 6 of the first ball of a test match. But man, I'm shocked that you've got it right. And I think all it took was giving you a week to think about who it was.
And can I just say that I didn't Google it. I didn't check anything. I genuinely had forgotten until literally about 5 minutes ago.
That's fair play. Absolutely top draw, Rich.
My subconscious would have been working on it for the last week.
It would have been. Have you felt a bit stressed, like you've had something hanging over you the last few days?
Do you know what I have? Yeah, it must have been that. Oh, the relief.
The relief. So, you're 1-7, which is good.
Awesome.
It's respectable.
Cleveland Browns-esque.
Then the question for today, so this person is responsible for all 3 of the highest individual innings scored by a batsman against India in the 21st century, and he is responsible for them by the fact that he dropped all 3 players on this list. So, who is the person that's responsible for the 3 highest individual innings against India because he dropped all 3 of them in these innings?
So I'm working the logic here. So it's an Indian player.
Yep, nailed it.
Woo! So far, so good. And it's a person.
And we're talking this century.
Could be controversial, but I'm going to just play the odds. Who gets the most catches as wicketkeeper? So I'm going to go MS Dhoni.
Okay. So we're going to park that one till next episode. Guys, if you know who it is, plenty of Indian listeners on this podcast, let me know in the comments below. Is it a wicketkeeper, is it a batsman, or is it a clumsy bowler? Let me know below. Let's kick straight into it, Rich. A bit of cricket news.
Yeah, just before I kick off the news, though, I just want people to realise that I love MS Dhoni. That's not a criticism of him. I'm just going with the odds that maybe he had more chances because I have no idea of why. So I just want to get that out there before anyone gives me any grief.
Okay.
So, yes, Cricket news. Right. Starting with the big stuff. County news. Just brief bits of news here before we get into the IPL. Pakistan seamer Wahab Riaz. He's going to play in England after all. He's dropped from the squad to tour England and Ireland, but he's agreed a deal to play a bit of T20 blast with Derbyshire. Derbyshire have also been busy boys. They've also agreed a deal with Nottinghamshire to take Mark Footitt back to the county on a 28-day loan deal, and he's going to be available to play in the upcoming championship fixture at home against Durham starting this Friday. So Riaz finally gets to England, and Mark Footitt, who is a bit of a surprise that he didn't make the starting team for Notts first couple of games, he's going on loan. Rob, any thoughts?
Yeah, Mark Footitt is a great signing for Derbyshire. I'm sure he was there before back in the day. I've read somewhere in the last few days the guy's still got hopes of one day representing England because he is genuine wheels on his day. He's just not... It's the interesting point around this, it's a 30-day loan period, okay? So Notts have got a great bowling attack, especially when they've got Stuart Broad available for them. That four-pronged with Fletcher, Gurney, Ball and Broad is exceptional, and there's no room for Footitt. However, when Broad starts playing Test cricket, you might see Footitt come back into playing Division 1 cricket. And Wahab Riaz, what a coup that is. There's not many better names out on the market that's available for Derbyshire to get for T20 cricket. And they've got an absolute machine, 197 T20 wickets to his name. The guy's a beast at that level.
He is. He looks a bit of a beast as well, doesn't he? Big fella. Right, Windies all-rounder Carlos Braithwaite, another signing. He's agreed to join up with Kent Spitfires for the upcoming domestic T20 Blast, Vitality Blast competition. So he's going to be joining up with Kiwi Adam Milne, who's the overseas player for Kent for that entire competition. Whilst Braithwaite, he's going to kick things off for Kent before Aussie Marcus Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis? That name sounds familiar, Rob.
It does, yeah.
Takes over from the end of July. This is going to be the first taste of county cricket for Braithwaite. And Marcus Stoinis, well, I think we probably need to mention him later when we go through the IPL, don't we, Rob? See how he's getting on.
We do. Stoinis was my IPL MVP of the season, and it's not quite going right. But Carlos Braithwaite, you're just keeping the seat warm until the big man comes in.
Exactly. Right. England, congratulations. Let's get the fireworks music, noise going, Rob. Then now, wow, no expense spared. And they are now the number one ranked ODI side in world cricket. Owen Morgan, take a bow, son. I think it comes down to his fearless approach, Rob. I think that's what they call it.
Yep.
It's paid off over the last year or so. Impressive series wins coming against New Zealand, Australia, Windies, South Africa, as well as a semi-final appearance in last year's Champions Trophy. So a well-deserved ODI ranking for England. Last time they were top, Rob, 2013. So I'd say that's things going very much in the right direction again now. Just talking to white ball, T20 rankings, top 7 spots, no change there. So nothing to talk about with that.
Good old England. Good old England. It's nice to see it. You know, we come from the era where England are a terrible, terrible one-day international team. And England was so far behind the game. When we spoke with Paul Johnson on the podcast, he spoke about one of the reasons he didn't play one-day cricket was because he wasn't one of the best first-class cricketers in the country. However, he was one of the best one-day cricketers, and that's the evolution of the game where people come specialised and guys actually pick the best players for the format, not just the best players on paper. And, you know, England's come a hell of a long way. They've won, I think it's 10 of the last 12 series. We talk of the last 6 straight, but 10 of the last 12 is rolling us back to 2015. That's how long this England team have been consistent. And you've got to go, when they got hammered in the World Cup, that was the absolute catalyst for change. They're out with the old guard, in with the new guys that's grow up playing T20 cricket, one-day international cricket, 12 8-ball overs, 64-ball cricket. Those guys have done that, and now we're reaping the rewards.
Yeah, it wasn't the World Cup, wasn't that Gary Balance batting at 3?
Yeah, there was Balance, there was Bell, Moeen Ali was opening. It was difficult to watch.
It was difficult. I don't think I watched it, actually. I mean, that's how difficult it was. So, no, it's worth noting as well, England have knocked off the perch India. They were number 1. They've dropped down to number 2. But India, just look across the rankings, though. India are top team in Test cricket at the minute, ahead of South Africa and Australia and New Zealand. England in 5th. England, obviously, top of the ODI Championship. India 2nd, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia. And then in the T20, Pakistan are top at the moment, followed by Australia, then India. So India are 1st, 2nd and 3rd across the rankings. So I think it's probably safe to say that across all formats, India is the strongest international side at the moment. But We're coming for you, boys. We're coming for you.
Yeah, we're on the tail. Yeah, India's they are strong. They've got a squad. That's what really makes them such a good team, especially at the shorter format of the game. They're interchangeable. It doesn't matter who plays. They've got great experience of playing top level IPL cricket, and India's built that for themselves. You know, they deserve to be the best team. They've got the best infrastructure, the most players, and they push them damn well hard because there's a lot of money in Indian cricket these days.
Yeah, we started looking, didn't we, a little while ago about the best units in cricket, and that's something we want to talk about at some point in the future when things quieten down, if they ever quieten down. You started listing off some of the bowling attack, for example, and they've got 2 units, haven't they? Really, that you can look at, but the spin options are ridiculous, and it's a hell of a setup. So, no, congrats to England at the moment, and let's see what happens and see if we can hold on to that. Right, moving on. New Zealand, Rob. We're talking about New Zealand cricket. Now, this could be potentially brilliant news, but I'm not saying that this will happen. But I think it's really positive that we're even talking about it. So, New Zealand cricket are considering a request from the Pakistan Cricket Board, the PCB, to move their scheduled tour, which is scheduled to be played in the United Arab Emirates, later this year. So New Zealand are touring already. They're going to go over and play Pakistan. Pakistan will host New Zealand. And it's going to be in the UAE, but Pakistan have asked New Zealand whether or not they will actually consider coming to play the tour in Pakistan instead. So this could be massive news. We're expecting this tour in October and November to be made up of 3 tests, 3 ODIs and 3 T20s. So we shall see. So obviously they've had some success late. The Pakistan Super League, the semis and the final were played on home soil. They had a little tour against Zimbabwe in Pakistan, and also we recently covered the short West Indies T20 tour. So there is optimism that we could see the next stage of international cricket return to Pakistan. So a comment from, I believe, from New Zealand Cricket. So at the moment, NZC is doing due diligence on the request and consulting with security providers, the government and the players. We will respond to the PCB when the process has been completed. So this has not been dismissed out of hand. This is something that they are seriously considering, Rob. It's just worth noting that New Zealand have not played Test cricket in Pakistan, on Pakistan soil, since 2002, when their 2 Test series was cut short, obviously, after a bomb attack outside the team hotel killed 15 people. So it's not, out of all the nations, probably New Zealand and Sri Lanka are the 2 that would probably be most cautious about going because they were at the centre of things. New Zealand team alleged was the target of that attack in 2002. So New Zealand did return in 2003 for an ODI series, but they've not played in Pakistan since that. And since obviously 2009, no cricket really had been played up until recently after the attack on the Sri Lankan team bus. So fingers crossed that this is a sign that things are getting better, and there is a chance for teams to be coming over. And hopefully, the security can prove that it will be a safe environment for New Zealand. But for me as well, it should be the fans as well. If any fans want to go and travel as well, it should be that the security arrangements are in place for them as well. So fingers crossed. It'll be interesting to see how New Zealand responds to this.
Yeah, I really do hope they are able to pull it out. But first and foremost, the safety of the players has got to be the number one priority, and the safety of the fans of anyone that travels. Now, Pakistan currently lists as an extreme, on the terror scale of the likelihood of an event, it rates as extreme, and certain areas rate as high risk. So we're talking unprecedented levels to kind of what we've seen in England. We've seen high risks, but extreme levels, the security would have to be through the roof. And it would be a huge thing if you got someone like New Zealand back in Pakistan after what's happened, just like getting Sri Lanka back in Pakistan. They're the ones that have seen it firsthand, and it'd be great to see those guys back there. But I just feel that if it's going to be this year, it may be rushed. I feel you may see it planned further down the road. I don't know how quickly they're going to be able to get things sorted out.
At the very least, what I'd like to see, and bearing in mind as well that we're going to be in big cities. So obviously we have incidents in big cities, but it's not in some of the more controversial areas, let's say. So it's going to be in Islamabad, Karachi, etc. But maybe what they could do, maybe they could play the tests in UAE, and maybe then they could come in and out and play the T20s, at least give the Pakistan home public something to watch. Maybe, I don't know, maybe there can be some agreement, where maybe the whole series isn't played over there, but part of the series is moved to to Pakistan. So I'd hope that to be the case. And security, it's weird. You ever look on government websites, especially the UK government, you're thinking of going to bloody Spain or something. There'll still be a warning over heightened risk of terrorism.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter where you go in the world at the minute. They'll be warning you not to travel unless you have to. Bizarrely.
Yeah.
But you got to crack on, haven't you? You got to go and visit these places.
You do. You got to live your life. You got to crack on. You got to crack through it. I would be surprised if they make it there this year, but it'll be a massive win for world cricket and Pakistan cricket if they are able to get there.
Yeah, absolutely. So, right, big news this week. Big news. Actually, only dropped last night, didn't it? Or last night UK time. So, Justin Langer, Australia has named Justin Langer as the new Australian head coach, obviously replacing Darren Lehmann, who resigned in the wake of that ball tampering scandal. Langer, he's currently in charge of Western Australia and Perth Scorchers. Head of Cricket Australia, James Sutherland. We seem to have quoted this man quite a lot recently. The succession plan has allowed us to consider several worthy candidates, but Justin was the clear standout, particularly based on his recent coaching and player development achievements. We firmly believe Justin is the right person to lead this team, and we have huge confidence in what he will bring to the role. Thank you, James. So Langer has had a couple of spells as interim coach for Australia, as well as spending time as Australian assistant coach. Although it was back, I believe, 2012 was the last time he was involved with Australian cricket. So it's an interesting one. I just want to quickly, Rob, if I can, just before I bring you in. Great article in the Age newspaper in Australia. Yeah, 2012. So they're basically saying they've got these reviews coming up. There's a player review where they've just announced today that Tim Payne, Pat Cummins, and let's have a look here, Shane Watson, George Bailey, Rachel Haynes, and Rick McCosker, they're going to be involved in a panel looking at trying to bring up a new players' charter over kind of how they want to play the game of cricket. We have the other review that's going to be ongoing as well. So they've got a couple of reviews looking into the problems. But Cricket Australia, in their wisdom, have decided to announce the coach now. So they're basically saying that they don't need a review. They've already solved the issues, and they've put a man in place that will be fine regardless of the outcome of these investigations. So straight away, those reviews, those investigations, don't really hold any weight anymore because you've already gone, bugger it. We'll stick a coach in anyway. We know the right man. So it seems quite bizarre to me that they've announced it. It probably was the right man. It could well be. I mean, when you think about it, it's a decent appointment. It makes sense. But yeah, it's just a bit of a strange one, Rob.
Yeah, I am still struggling to get my head around it. Justin Langer, obviously, is a Dean Elgar-esque sort of player, wasn't he? Very gritty, very mentally strong at playing the game and batting. Hard-nosed is probably a good way to put Justin Langer. And when he came into the Perth outfit, they were a bit of a mess. They were a huge mess. They were absolutely terrible in state cricket. And he's managed to turn them around, and he gave them a good shake. He called them a dysfunctional family when he first joined there, and ex-players hated the place. And he's managed to turn it around and do good and create a really good atmosphere and a team that is highly, highly successful in two different formats. The 50-over competition they've won twice, and they've won the Big Bash 3 times. So he's created a bit of a dynasty over at Perth. So I think Cricket Australia knew where they were going before they even started this process. I think that's one of the reasons why they got rid of Lehmann, because they already knew what the next move was going to be. Now, part of my problem with this is Langer was part of the problem past generations of Australia team, playing under Ponting, playing under War, in those sorts of environment. He's been in that team that we look at and we go, the way they play cricket was just wrong, and it's been wrong for years, and it's just now it's tipped over the edge. It's always had a problem. So I really do hope that the peer reviews, the system reviews, everything they do is actually going to benefit the team, and they're not just putting another hard-nosed guy, win-at-all-costs person at the top of the list.
Yeah, but what happens in that review if they actually recommend that they actually should move away from that sort of that traditional line of coaches? You know, the Steve Waugh, granddaddy of it all sort of shop. You know, what if their review actually says, no, we need to actually look at a different direction. We need to look at all the options. Maybe for the first time ever, we need to look outside of our country and look at other options. It just seems, I don't understand that going back to that article, the final line of it was, you know, as ever in cricket, the prudent call may have been wait. You know, what was the rush? Why did they have to do it? They've only got a few one-dayers in England this summer. in our summer, and then there's no cricket until the Australian summer, so the Northern Hemisphere winter. I don't understand what the rush was. You could have just put a temporary guy in. Yeah, it's probably going to be Justin Langer, but put a temporary guy in, wait for the reviews, show that you're actually giving it some credit and some respect, and then do it. It is just massive arrogance coming from Cricket Australia again. And I don't understand why they're trying to just move on so quickly without actually really taking time thinking about what they need to do. Yeah. It just seems bizarre to me. Again, like I said, just made the point, like from that article as well, why now before the twin reviews? It looks like Cricket Australia's given the reviewers not just a list of questions, but one of the answers preemptively. They've already answered what they need to do there. And they're saying 2012, obviously, there's a bit of plausible deniability. He's been away from the setup long enough to not be tarred with the brush of the layman, etc. So, I don't know. I just find it a bit weird. He has been the heir apparent, hasn't he? Like you're saying, I think they knew they wanted him anyway. But again, this chap, Greg Baum, he makes, that's the problem. In a way, we knew that it was going to be him. He's part of the same setup. He's come from the same place, part of the same history. It just seems a very, very strange way of doing it. I hope that he will be a good appointment. Hopefully he will have changed his ways a little bit with regard to how he was, and maybe he'll, he's a bright enough fella. He's going to have seen the issues they had, and hopefully he'll kind of veer away from that and put the right things in place. And like you said, from what he's done in Western Australia, hopefully he can take that into Australia and realise there is different ways of winning games of cricket.
Yeah, he's definitely grabbed them by the scruff of the neck, turned them round and turned them into a really professional outfit. And they'll be hoping a lot of what he did there. He even went as far as banning mobile phones at training, which can be seen as a bit archaic at times, but actually he earned the respect of the players at Perth and was able to turn them around. One thing I did read, he's commented on Steve Smith, Cameron Bancroft and Dave Warner already, and there's a quote about David Warner. Yeah, I don't like talking about David Warner, but we're gonna. Mm-hmm. The quote is, he's a really good young bloke and he made a mistake.
Bullshit.
I'm not being funny, but every time I've seen David Warner step over the white line and onto the field, he does not come across as a good bloke. Like, people can make mistakes on a cricket pitch. They can have a day where they do something dumb. David Warner is this person every single time for 60 test matches. He's the rabid dog of the Australian team. It's a long mistake that he's been making as that person. And I don't like the olive branch, Rich. I think that's what it is. I don't like the olive branch on day one.
No, I don't. Yeah, I've not heard those comments actually, mate. So that's just caught me on a hop a little bit. But where's the benefit for Langer on day one making that comment? I don't understand. Where is the benefit? Where's the positive? He doesn't need to touch on that.
No.
He can just basically say, look, they've given the punishments. That's what it is. They're not available. When they're available for selection again, we'll talk about them. You don't need to talk about any of them at this moment in time. It's just ridiculous. And it kind of puts credence back to what we're saying about that he is part of the old breed. Yeah. He's a good bloke. Yeah, that's the sort of cricket we like. Get stuck in, and all that garbage. Just ridiculous. No need for that comment. I don't understand it. I don't understand why they haven't waited for this, waited for the review, before they made this decision. It just seems rushed. It seems arrogant. And I hope Langer isn't the Langer we're kind of expecting.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. Should have waited. Disappointed about the Warner comment. They could have pushed that back. They were always going to get asked it, but you would hope that PR would give him a good enough answer to be able to go back on for day one. He is the right man for the job. It just feels like it's premature him being given the job full time. It would have been a nice thing if it was like, hey, we're going with Justin Langer. We need an interim coach for the start while we have the peer review, exactly as you said, and he gets accepted into the role 3 months later. That seems like the best PR exercise to do, not a show of arrogance.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that, actually. Yeah, an interim coach appointment would have been quite a good idea, just to test the water as well, wouldn't it, and see how he responds. And talking of like PR and how you'd have answered it, I've just answered it.
Yeah, perfect.
I've answered it better than Langer did. So it's daft, isn't it, mate? But anyway, the Aussies, they keep crawling back into our consciousness, don't they? We're trying to ignore them as much as we can, like an irritating little kid, aren't they?
They are.
In a restaurant or something. You're trying to keep hearing them rattling on. So Is that it? Can we put a pin in them again until they come over to England in the summer?
Yeah, I think that's Australia pinned unless Justin Langer's going to throw a curveball in the next couple of days.
Yeah, David Warner recall.
Yeah, let's get him in.
Right, enough of that then. So, right, Rob, shall we get on to the proper stuff? So, usually this is just the IPL podcast, but there's been so much important news this week, we had to cover it. So, I think we've wasted enough time. Shall we crack on and have a bit of a review of the IPL games?
Yeah, let's go into the IPL. There's wickets and runs galore.
Oh, yes, there is. Right. Kicking off, 23rd match. So when we picked this up last, we just covered Delhi Devils against Kings 11 Punjab. Chris Gale less Kings 11 had basically still had enough. Liam Plunkett, he'd done his job. So everything was happy. Chennai Super Kings were sitting top as they pretty much are at the minute. Sunrisers were just dropping off a little bit, but we were still interested. And Mumbai, I think they were propping up, weren't they, as they kind of have all year. So, where were we? 23rd match, Mumbai Indians hosted Sunrisers Hyderabad, and it was a win for Sunrisers. So, Sunrisers batting first, 118 all out. No way in the world they win this game of cricket from here. Kane Williamson, 29, Pathan, 29 as well. Mitch McLennan, 2 for 22 off 3. Hardik Pandya, 2 for 20 off 3. And Mark Kande, 2 for 15 off 3 for Mumbai. Brilliant bowling performance. Surely Mumbai win, Rob.
Surely. Got him.
No. 87 all out. Destroyed. Yadav top scorer with 34. Krunal Pandya, 24 as well. Incredible game. Siddharth Kaul, 3 for 23. Rashid Khan, 2 for 11 off 4. Basil Stampy, 2 for 3 off 1.5. And Sharma, 1 for 9. So, Sunrise Hyderabad somehow defended. This is their second lowest ever IPL total, and they defended it. Massively important win against strugglers Mumbai. Rashid Khan, obviously the star, but the seamers Siddharth Kaul and Basil Thampi rattled through that tail. Unreal team effort with the ball and in the field, and Orange Army kept the pressure on at the top, Rob.
Yeah, you've just got to feel it's not going to be Mumbai Indians' year. They've lost so many games so close, and they're just a slight bit of application from being a decent team, and then they go do something like this. You think, oh, awesome, the bowling units absolutely click. We've bowled them for 118. Again, Kane Williamson top scoring. There's a theme going on with this Sunrisers team. They might not score the most runs, but Williamson absolutely leading from the front. But the team just falls apart. Kieran Pollard's having an absolute shocker of an IPL. Sorry to go, hey, Kieran Pollard's the problem here. He's not the problem. He's one of the problem. The guy is big money, and he just hasn't performed at all. But it's the spin. Shakib Al Hassan, 3 overs, 1 for 16. Rashid Khan, after he got taken to the cleaners by Chris Gale that day, he has been absolutely top drawer and putting in what could be an MVP performance this season.
Yeah, absolutely. And just looking on Mumbai, take away Yadav, they're struggling for runs big time, aren't they? That bowling unit, I think they've got about 5 players in the top 10 wicket takers.
Yeah.
So it's just incredible, really, that they are struggling as much as they are. But Kane Williamson, early shout for captain of the tournament.
Yeah, he's doing a great job.
Yeah, okay, right. We move to Bangalore. Royal Challengers Bangalore hosted the informed Chennai Super Kings. RCB batting first, 205 for 8. Decent score, that is. Quinton de Kock at the top, 53 off 37. The massively informed AB de Villiers, 68 off 30. And Mandeep Singh, another nice player. He's batted really well for RCB this tournament, 32 off 17. With the ball for Chennai, Thakur 2 for 46, Imran here 2 for 35, and Bravo 2 for 33. So Chennai, big ask, and they did it. They won by 5 wickets, 2 balls remaining. Another close one, 207 for 5. Rayudu, he's been incredible of late. I think this is kind of the early part of his form, but he's just kept it running. So Ambatu Rayudu looked a class above, 82 or 53, and that man, MS Dhoni, 70 not out off 34 balls. Incredible knock and man of the match performance from MS. Chahal 2 for 26 for RCB. So RCB thought they'd done enough, obviously, after hitting 205, but this result will give CSK a feeling of invincibility, Rob.
CSK are absolutely on fire. RCB would have thought they'd done enough here. AB de Villiers is having a top draw season. I keep wondering why Corey Anderson keeps making the top 4 or top 6 for this RCB team. Not to see him perform week in, week out, but it's a very, very strong team. And scoring, anytime you score over 200 in an IPL game, you've got to fancy your chances. But Mahendra Singh Dhoni is probably putting in his finest IPL stint ever. in the history of the IPL. He's been there in every single one, but this seems to be the season where he's really going above and beyond, and he's finishing games 7 sixes, a 205 strike rate. They were 74 for 4 after 9 overs and went on to win by only conceding one more wicket, which was Ryudu in the 18th over on 175. So they still had work to do, an extra 30 off the last 2 overs. But Dhoni, the form he's in, you just fancy him to walk through walls for this team. He is absolutely the leader. He's the leader of what he was in the Indian team when he led them to the World Cup victory, and he's doing exactly the same thing here. I feel like putting my money on CSK right now.
No, it's not a bad shout. They're certainly going to be in the conversation all the way through to the end now, aren't they? And MS, he's just got that. I talked about CSK having that air of invincibility. He's the one that actually gives them that air of invincibility.
It is.
He'll just roll in. If he's on a chase, not a problem. Give me a knocked out. You're not taking my wicket. I'm winning this game of cricket.
Yeah.
That in a positive sense, the arrogance of the man is incredible. Just the way he conducts himself and carries himself. It's the positive sort of form of arrogance, isn't it?
Yeah. It is.
He just class above, and he keeps showing it. He's not slowing down anytime soon. So next game, Sunrisers, they hosted Kings 11 Punjab. After being bowled out for 118, we can defend that. They batted first and got 132 for 6. It's not a bad score. It's not a good score. It's all right, but Sunrise, no drama. Pandey, 54 off 51. Shakib Al Hassan, 28 29. And Patan, 21 not out. No big scores, no quick scorers either in that. And the star of this game, Ankit Rajput, 5 for 14. Incredible. That's a man of the match performance, and you'd expect him to be on the winning side with that, wouldn't you?
You would. Top draw.
Wrong. The Kings 11 Punjab dismissed for 119. Sunrisers do it again. Won by 13 runs for Kings 11. Lokesh Rahul, 32 off 26, and Chris Gale, 23 off 22. He is human. In the wickets again, Rashid Khan, 3 for 19. Al Hassan, 2 for 18. The spin twins, Bangladeshi spinner Saqib Al Hassan as well. Beating the bat on both sides, they were made it so difficult for them. So 5 wickets for spin, and then we had the seamers again. Basil Thampi, 2 for 14 off 2.2. The boy don't need many overs, does he, to get his wickets? And Sandeep Sharma ripping them apart. Just incredible performance. You bowl a team out for 130. Well, you keep a team to 132. Sorry, a guy gets 5 for 14. You think you're winning this game, but again, it's just incredible performance from Sunrisers.
It is. It's got to be talked about as one of the finest bowling attacks that's ever taken the field in IPL cricket. The form is just that exceptional. I was talking highly of Kane Williamson 5 minutes ago. Well, he got out for a duck in this one, and his team just managed to waddle on, go on to 132 all out, which, again, isn't a great score, and you would expect to win. And it's got to be a massive shout-out to Rajput. 17 dot balls in his 5 for 14. Super stuff, but Kings 11 just fell apart, and it was wickets all the way through. They were at 77 for 3 at one point, which isn't too bad, but it was regular wickets up to 77 for 3. They never had that one solid partnership, which is really going to take you home after the start, and then they just capitulated, absolutely fell apart. Wickets falling left, right and centre, and it's the spin of the Sunrisers team that time and time again is blowing teams away. There's only so many good things you can say about Rashid Khan before you start running out of words. And he's on a different level to everyone else. He's 19 years old. It's incredible.
He is, but the only criticism we've got of Rashid Khan is the oldest looking 19-year-old lad I've ever seen.
He is. He's never been ID'd since he was 12, mate.
Too right. On to Delhi. Delhi hosted KKR. The Knight Riders are in town, and Delhi batted first. Delhi kind of making a bit of a run here. They've kind of gone under the radar a little bit, haven't they, in this tournament, I think. But they're starting to make some waves. And Delhi, 219 for 4, a cracking score. PP Shaw, 62 off 44. Colin Munro, 33 off 18. Glenn Maxwell, 27 off 18. But Shreyas Iyer, 93 not out. New captain. How do you respond to being given the captaincy? You go out and score 93 off 40 balls, and you get the man of the match, and you easily win a game. KKR in response, 164 for 9, well restricted by the Delhi bowling attack. Sunil Narine, 26 off 9, Kartik, 18 run a ball, Shubman Gill, 37 off 29, and Andre Russell, 44 off 30. None of that was enough. Trent Bolt 2 for 44, Glenn Maxwell 2 for 22 off 2, Avesh Khan 2 for 29, and Amit Mishra 2 for 23. So Delhi as a unit did the job, leading IPL wicket taker Trent Bolt once again, leading from the front. What a game for Shreyas Iyer and what a win for Delhi.
Yeah, you've got to say, you're going from the oldest looking 19-year-old in Rashid Khan to Iyer, who is possibly the youngest looking 23-year-old I've ever seen in my life. He's having an absolute incredible IPL. At this game, this was his third back-to-back 50 in the IPL. That's how well he's playing, and much-deserved captaincy. Good to see Colin Munro at the top of the order, actually getting some runs. He's been out of form since England came into town after the T20s, all the way back in the New Zealand summer. And here he was able to move on to 33. Shaw got some good runs. Solid bowling, though, in the second half, which is what it's got to be. A few of the guys went at 10s and 11s, but you've got to look at Ashwat Khan, you've got to look at Plunkett. Plunkett, 4 overs, none for 24. That's exactly what this team have been missing. And Mishra, 2 for 23, and with an economy rate of 5.75. Khan, Mishra, double-digit dot balls. Dot balls build pressure, especially when you're chasing 220. And that's what's really taken the game away. It's those middle overs where they've managed to squash the game.
Yeah, absolutely. Liam Plunkett, they've done well to get him in the side, haven't they?
They have, and he's done himself proud, actually. You know, I think it's his first IPL contract, I think we said. And some people are a bit like, oh, really? He's not really done that much in in T20 cricket to warrant it. Actually, he's come in and he's done himself really, really good service, and he may even pick up another contract around the world on the back of this.
Yeah, I think he deserves it. I mean, he hits the deck really hard. He bowls that heavy ball, doesn't he? I think they used to talk about Flintoff, a heavy ball.
Yeah.
Difficult to get hold of, especially with the cross-bat stuff. And he's a useful lower-order batsman. I think he was slated to come in at number 7 in the last game that we'll come on to in a little bit. So he's there and thereabouts. And top fella, and it's probably worth noting, because I've probably noted it quite a few times, but he's a big Philadelphia Eagles fan as well, Rob. So I just wanted to drop that in there.
We all have faults.
Right. CSK, the invincible CSK, played bottom of the table Mumbai Indians in the next game. Obviously, this was going to go to form.
Yeah.
We shall see. CSK, 169 for 5 batting first. Rayudu again in the runs, 46 or 35. Suresh Raina, 75 not out of 46. After a slow start, missed a couple of games, he's starting to get going. MS Dhoni, just the 26 off 21 this game. And with the ball, it was McLennan again, 2 for 26, and Krunal Pandya, 2 for 32. So, in response, 169 for 5, bit under par, but Mumbai, they've not done very well, have they? Well, they knocked it off with ease. Mumbai recording an 8-wicket win with 2 balls remaining. There's not been many cruises in this tournament so far. For Mumbai, Yadav, 44 of 34. Evan Lewis, 47 of 43. Rohit Sharma, 56 not out, led from the front, 33 balls. And Hardik Pandya, 13 not out at the end, off 8. Harbhajan, that man again, Rob, 1 for 20 off 3.5. Solid bowling from him, but not enough from CSK. Big win. Big names doing the big things in this game, Rob. Suresh Raina for CSK and Rohit Sharma for Mumbai. I think it's worth saying CSK looked to be building a massive score, but just lost their way. And then Mumbai took full advantage and led home by the skipper. Well-deserved and much-needed win for Mumbai.
Yeah, they looked very, very disappointingly at this game. It's got to be said. They were 97 off 11 overs, going at 9 and over, and they only finished at 8.45 and over. So very, very disappointing from them. And it was the end of the innings. They just didn't finish well. Billings, Bravo, Jadeja, none of them able to get going. Good to see Mitch McClenaghan getting the wickets. Obviously doesn't play for the Black Caps or anyone like that anymore, but he's just starting to come into a bit of form in the IPL, which is going to be much needed. However, Mumbai Indians at this point, I think I posted on Twitter saying, Mumbai Indians are just giving themselves a little bit of hope of being able to do a run like they did the other year. And it's Rohit Sharma. Every time Rohit Sharma fires, this team does very well. He got that 94 against RCB a few games ago, and then this 56 was able to take them home. They're the 2 wins that they've pretty much got. So happy for them to pick up the win. Also, absolutely love it when the Turbinator Harbhajan Singh is playing as well. His 1 for 20. The guy's still got a bit about him.
It certainly has. Mumbai got a shout, mate. Everyone's still in this competition. There's no one dead and buried just yet.
Just yet.
Just yet. Right. Rajasthan Royals hosting the Sunrisers Hyderabad in Jaipur in the next game. Sunrisers on a roll, 2 wins and on the trot, weren't they? And they finally gave a game to Alex Hales. So Sunrise batting first, 151 for 7. Again, an okay score. They're slowly increasing those totals, but nothing too dramatic just yet. But yeah, 151 for 7. Hales 45 off 39. Kane Williamson, an excellent captain's knock, 63 off 43. For the Royals, Gautam 2 for 18 and Jofra Archer 3 for 26. Excellent figures from him. Rajasthan in response, could they do it? No, again, Sunrisers. You cannot knock off a mediocre Sunrisers total, it would seem. 140 for 6 off 20 overs. That they didn't get through them, but they certainly restricted them. Rahani top scored 65 53, and that exciting young fella Sanju Samson 40 off 30. Call 2 for 23 for Sunrisers. Brilliant knock, brilliant captain's knock. This time Kane Williamson. It seems like every day we're talking about a captain's knock at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Brilliantly paced knock, excellent all-round captain on display this one. Sunrisers should have posted a much bigger score, but tight bowlers got them a 3rd win on the bounce.
Yeah, good performance. This Sunrisers team, I don't think anyone's going to want to play against them, because you just wait till they score 200. When they can actually put some runs on the board. Kane Williamson, game in, game out, getting it done. This was his 4th IPL 50 of the tournament, coming off the back of a duck in the last game. Just exquisite. Good to see Hales at the top of the order. It would have meant something to him as well to, 1, get a game, and then 2, go on and get some runs. He will be a bit disappointed. There was a bit of jug avoidance on the table. Jofra Archer, he's kind of gone a little bit under the radar at times in this tournament, but he's having a great IPL as well. Really, really putting his name out there on the world stage. 3 for 26 off 4 overs, looking great. But every time I look at Rajasthan, yes, they've won a couple of games. No, they're not awful. But this batting lineup really, really upsets me. It really does. I look at Ben Stokes and I look at Josh Buttler when they fail so many times, and we're going to talk about Josh Buttler shortly scoring some runs. But at this point of the tournament, they've really not added a lot of value, those 2 English, in bracket, air quotations flying around my head, superstars.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, there's some big fellas in that lineup who are just not doing it, are they? And everyone's kind of slating Mumbai, bottom of the table, but Rajasthan aren't much better.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Sorry to say it. Lovely part of India. But right, 29th game, RCB, Bangalore hosting the Knight Riders in Bengaluru. So RCB back first, 175 for 4, decent. Good knock from Quinton de Kock, 29 off 27. I had to say it at some point, Rob, sorry. 38 off 28 for Brendan McCullum. Virat Kohli, that boy, in the runs again, 68 not out of 44. And Singh, again, always pops up with a useful contribution, 19 off 14. Andre Russell, 3 for 31 off 3 with the ball. KKR in response made pretty easy work of this, winning by a slim margin is 1 or 2 balls. 5 balls is a cruise, isn't it?
It is a cruise.
So they won by 6 wickets with 5 balls remaining. Man of the match, Chris Lynn, the Aussie at the top of the order, 62 off 52. Sunil Narine, 27 off 19. Robin Uthappa, 36 off 21. And I keep wanting to call him Murali now. I'm doing it myself. Dinesh Karthik, 23 off 10. A cracking knock for the finisher at the end. Mohamed Siraj, 2 for 40. And Murugan Ashwin, 2 for 36 for RCB. So KKR, cracking win. RCB, they've missed the informed de Villiers, and KKR took full advantage, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. They've got so much talent, RCB, the way they can just chop and change who's playing in this absolutely incredible lineup. And Brendan McCullum, he's a wonderful T20 player. Yes, he's a little bit old now. He's 36 years old. But every time he plays, he still manages to get 30 or 40 at the top of the order in double quick time. But, yeah, again, it's one of these games where the actual start wasn't quite good enough. De Kock was quite slow. Kohli was quite slow for a period. And when Mandeep Singh came in, he was quite slow. So there wasn't actually the support to be able to catapult the innings to go on and get a bigger score. So they'll be slightly disappointed. But at the same time, you've got to go with some really good bowling. Kuldeep Yadav, 1 for 20, going at 5 and over, 12 dot balls. And out of those 20 runs, 1 was a 6. 3.5 overs for 14 is absolutely incredible by him. And I really like Chris Lynn. I talked about Chris Lynn for a top run scorer in the competition when I think I was giving my predictions. And the lad's not having a bad competition. Yes, he's got injured. Yes, he's had a few random ways of getting out. But his second 50, he can hit the ball as far and as long and as well as anyone in this competition. And it's it's Kartik again. Every time we look at this team and they go home, Kartik's there with 20 or 30 at the back end of the innings, just seeing them home.
And generally off not many balls either.
Yeah, I don't know if he's India's answer to play the 5, 6, 7 role in T20 cricket, but you're hard-fetched to pick someone more consistent than him.
He's a finisher. He knows what he's doing. Right, not really invincible, but sometimes invincible CSK in the next game hosted Delhi Daredevils. Chennai posted a decent score here. This is the difference. When you get to 170s, you're going to struggle sometimes, but when you get above 200, you're generally going to get a win. So 211 for 4. Brilliant effort from the Chennai batting lineup. Shane Watson picked up the Man of the Match award for a 78 off 40. Faf du Plessis got it in the runs, a run of ball 33. And Bata Rayudu again in the runs, 41 off 24. But that man, MS Dhoni, 51 knocked out off 22 balls. The game is easy. Delhi Daredevils in response, a really good effort from them, to be fair to 198 for 5 off the 20. Fell 13 runs short to give Chennai the win. Colin Munro, 26 off 16. Shankar, 54 not out of 31, and Rishabh Pant, the leading run scorer in this tournament, 79 off 45. With the ball for Chennai, Lungi Ngidi got announced. We've not really heard much about him, have we?
Yeah.
1 for 26, and KM Asif 2 for 43. So again, it's the MS Dhoni show. Shane Watson's did pretty good, and Rayudu as well. So they're really coming into form with the batting at the right time.
Yeah, they definitely are. And Giddy's first game of the competition, we've got to say it, that, and 1 for 26 is a great way to announce yourself onto the IPL stage. And I'd guess it's going to be his first IPL as well, because he's only just come onto the South African international scene. This innings made by Watto, I'm calling him Watto like he's my best mate. Oh, Watto, at the top of the order. We said at the start of the tournament, he's going to have a decent IPL. And he has. He got 100. He's got a 70-odd now. There are a few fails in between, but if your guy 3 or 4 innings a game can go and get 450s in the IPL, that's a really top-level player. It's a good level player. There's better players, but you'd like someone like that in your team. And Dhoni, just incredible time in, time out. He's really just coming into a golden period at the back end of his career where he just leathers everything out the middle of the bat. They had a good solid foundation and they went on and they made 211. 211, let me tell you, is bloody hard to chase. Liam Plunkett, none for 52, got taken to pieces by Mahendra Singh Dhoni. There's been probably no better player that's taken him to pieces than Mahendra Singh Dhoni in T20 cricket, so he'll tell his grandkids about it. Rishabh Pant is having an IPL to write home about. You got to remember the guy is only 20 years old and he's putting up these sorts of numbers. We've spoken about him a few times saying future Indian superstar. We're nailing it down. The guy is a superstar and he will go on to be an Indian superstar in their probably 3 formats of the game. The game was won and lost on the Turbinator once again. Harbhajan Singh, no wickets, but 6.5 economy rate in the middle of the innings, none for 26. And that's what it comes down to. It's where club cricket games are won, on building pressure. And T20 is an absolute optimism of dot balls build pressure and make people play silly shots. Look at people like Glenn Maxwell. He hit 1 boundary and then played 3 dot balls before getting cleaned up trying to hit it out the park. 3 dot balls build pressure.
Yeah, absolutely, Rob. Point hammered home there, bro. Right. On to Bangalore against Mumbai. Can Mumbai get another win? No, sorry. RCB, 167 for 7. Manan Vora, 45-31. McCullum, as you said, he does it again, 37 off 25. Virat Kohli, 32 off 26. And De Grandhomme, 23 off 10. Hardik Pandya, 3 for 20 off 3 with the ball for Mumbai. In response, the batting for Mumbai fell well short, 14 runs short, 153 for 7, just couldn't quite get going enough. JP Duminy, 23 off 29. Hardik Pandya, 50 off 42. Krunal Pandya, 23 off 19. And Ben Cutting, 12 not out off 6. He tried his best at the end. Tim Southey, another name we've not heard much of in this tournament, 2 for 25. Yadav, 2 for 29. And Mohammad Siraj, again in the wicket, 2 for 28. Tim Southey picked up the Man of the Match award for RCB. RCB got the win. And Mumbai, albeit, are they close to being finished at this point? We shall see. Tough defeat to take, but despite the best efforts of those Pandyas, again, those brothers, they just keep performing for them. But a really good win for RCB, and they'll take heart from this one.
Yeah, I think it's time to sharpen the knives here, mate. I think Mumbai, we're going to have to cut them off. That is them officially gone. There's no coming back from where they are now. Absolutely not. I'm making the call. They are out of the competition at just past the halfway point.
Oh, that's a bit harsh. What is it, 4 points? Next, I don't know. All it needs is 2 or 3 wins.
It is, but I'm making the call. I'm making the call on behalf of us. We are knowledgeable. We've read about this. We've watched it. Let me take the knowledgeable out of there. We've watched it and we've read about it. But I think the time has come. We've got to make a call, and they're not good enough this year to make a run of it. The batting is so inconsistent. Yes, they'll have some good performances from the Pandyas, but the top 6 just hasn't clicked. Very similar to Rajasthan Royals. Not good enough across the board. RCB, they should have won this game, and they did win this game. They won it by not playing very well, not scoring a lot of runs. But again, you've got to look at it and go, that bowling attack was superb. Top 3 bowlers. Good to see Tim Southey getting a few wickets. Yadav and Siraj all bowling well, going at 6 and 7s and over. Shahal, 4 overs, none for 23, 14 dot balls. We talk about dot balls, we talk about pressure. That's exactly what that man did by bowling 14 dot balls.
Yeah, exactly. And RCB will really be happy about actually being able to defend a total. So well played for those boys. Right. The last game we're up to before, obviously, the tournament continues apace, we have Delhi hosting Rajasthan Royals. Rain-affected game, just got to say that first, so there's going to be some weird sort of scoring. So Delhi batted first, 196 for 6 off 17.1 overs. A big score. If they'd have batted 20, we'd have been looking at least 230, 240, I'd have said on this one. Really good effort. PP Shaw, 47 off 25. SS, the captain, 50 off 35. Rishabh Pant, that man again, 69 off just 29 balls. And Shankar, 17 off 6. Unadkat, 4 for 46 with the ball for the Royals. So, in response, the Royals, bit of a stop-start sort of innings. It ended up being a 12-over chase with a target of 151, and they fell just 4 or 5 runs short, 146 for 5. So Delhi won by Duckworth-Lewis method. For the Royals, Darcy Short, 44 off 25. Gautam, 18 not out of 6. Had a good smash at the end. And the man you mentioned earlier, Josh Butler, finally getting a decent score, 67 off 25. But Trent Bolt, 2 for 26 off his three overs with important wickets. Rishabh Pant, man of the match. Trent Bolt and the Delhi Daredevils once again hold their nerve to clinch the all-important win. As we said, IPL top run scorer, Rishabh Pant, just rightly picking up a man of the match award, and he goes from strength to strength. Yeah,
he does. It's always a shame when rain interrupts the game. We talk about it so much in county cricket. It's the same, especially T20 cricket. Just give the guys 20 overs, go in and have a slog. Pant is on fire, we keep saying that. Colin Munro, it's not been the best IPL for the guy. He was out first ball. But 196 off 17 overs, that could have been 230, 240 if they really went at the end of the innings. But the one that I just can't take my eyes off him when I look at the bowling numbers or the batting numbers. Ben Stokes, it disappoints me. The guy, I said he was out of form when he was touring New Zealand. He hasn't played a lot of competitive cricket, and it's showing. Fair play to Josh Butler, 67. It was an 18-ball 50, I think, when he got there. 7 sixes, 257 strike rate. Superb. But just poor performances. Like Ben Stokes. Ben Stokes was out to a waist-high full toss on leg side, and he just hit it to the fielder. Ben Stokes, 99 times out of 100, is going to put that in the absolute stands, and it just goes to show where his game and probably mindset, he's probably, I don't know, it's hard to tell whether he's really enjoying being back playing cricket or actually he's finding it really hard and he just wants to get home.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it? He's had a bit of a disjointed last 9-10 months or whatever it is now since the back end of the English summer. He was a massive signing for them. Obviously, a key part of the tournament last year. Was it Rising Pune Super Giants is what he was playing for last year?
It can be.
I forget now. It certainly wasn't the franchise he's playing for now, is it? We'll check that in a moment, and I'll admit I'm wrong if I'm wrong.
No, you're right.
But Yeah, excellent. Research. Yeah, but he's just the expectations are there. But this is not Ben Stokes, the player that was Ben Stokes, the player last year.
No.
This is Ben Stokes, like you say, who's got a court case hanging over his head. This is Ben Stokes that hasn't played enough cricket in the last 7 or 8 months. He's not a man coming in on form after a brilliant winter. This is a really tough time for Ben Stokes. It's hotel room to game, it's flight, it's game, it's hotel room, flight, game. It's not easy to settle in. Maybe he just needs to be pulled out of the firing line up a little bit. But he gives you so much still. He gives you that three-dimensional cricketer, doesn't he? He's still exceptional in the field. At some point, the boy's going to come off, and you don't want to be dropping a man too early. I think Bailey says it, doesn't he? You'd rather give a guy one extra game than one too few.
Yeah.
So hopefully he comes good, but yeah, we want to see something, don't we? Josh Butler as well. It was nice to see him opening the batting. You've got to get that man in early. Stop messing about batting him at 5, 6, 7. Get him in the order. Get him up there at the top.
I find that a ridiculous thing to do, actually, in the IPL. You've got these great international players, someone like a Josh Butler. Just let him bat. Stick him at the top whilst there's pace on the ball and watch him go bonsai with it. There's no point in having him batting at 6 and he might get 5 overs at the end. The theory behind the strategy is absolutely flawed.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And, England are as criminal as anyone with Josh Butler, aren't they? Batting him down at bloody, like I say, 5, 6, 7 or whatever.
Yeah.
Get him up the top of the order, get him opening, get him smashing. So we shall see. But that's got us all up to date, Rob. I think we've done all right there. We've got everyone in. Got to mention, where are we in the table? That's what we want to know now, isn't it?
Yeah, how bad does it look for Mumbai? Start me at the bottom, Rich.
Mumbai, that's a negative place to start. Mumbai, they've played 8... They've only won 2. It's a bit like your takes on Spider-Man, Rob.
It is. It's very much like my take on Spider-Man.
Negative. Right, Mumbai, 8 matches, 8, won 2, lost 6 on 4 points, propping up. Rajasthan, 1 win ahead in 7th spot, played the same game mountain games on 6th. And then we have Delhi and RCB in 6 and 5. So Delhi, 3 wins, 6 points, and RCB, only 8 games for these guys, won 3, lost 5 on 6 points as well. So, top 4, KKR in 4th place, played 8, 4 and 4, 50-50. They've got 8 points. Very inconsistent. Kings 11 played 7, won 5, lost 2. So with that game in hand, they could go level on points with the 2 teams at the top. Sunrisers in 2nd place on 12, and Chennai top on 12. Chennai just pipping it on the tiebreaker. So it's Chennai's at the moment, but Sunrisers, they're making a quiet little run, aren't they? Consistent. Not necessarily the best consistent all the way either. So,
I know. But, if you look at the amount of runs that Sunrisers have scored, it's almost 400 runs less than Chennai Super Kings at this point. But their bowling attack is absolutely good. It's absolutely top draw. You are seeing a clear delineation between the top end to the bottom. It's like the English Football League, Premier League. That's what it's called. Where you get your top 3 or 4 teams and they generally beat everyone else. And then they mix it up between themselves. And you're starting to see the separation here. If Kings 11 win their game in hand, which they may well do, you've got those big 3 teams, CSK, Sunrisers, Kings 11, Punjab, all on 12 points. Not securing themselves a playoff berth, but so close and looking so much better than anyone else there. And then I think it's down to KKR, RCB, and Delhi. It's going to be between those 3 teams, which sounds stupid because I'm saying 4, 5, and 6. What I'm saying here is Rajasthan and Mumbai are not going to make the playoffs. That is what I'm saying.
No, that's fair. I can see where you're coming from. It's not just looking at the points, it's looking at the performances, isn't it? And Mumbai and Rajasthan just don't seem to have enough to be able to compete and really make a run. Delhi in 6th place, although they played a game extra to KKR and Bangalore, I like the look of Delhi at the moment. They've got something about them. The top 3, though, Kings 11, the game in hand, which is tomorrow as we record this, it's against Mumbai at home. So you'd expect them to win that. So we're going to be seeing 3 teams, played 8 games, won 6, lost 2 apiece, 12 points apiece with that top 3. So they're starting to break away a little bit. KKR, they play today. They're against Chennai. So Chennai will have played another game. So that's going to be a tough one for KKR. But they are at home, so at least they have that in their favour. Chennai have got 2 games coming up out of the next 3. They then, in the 35th game, they then host RCB. So It could be, I'm not saying make or break for Chennai, but if Chennai lose a couple of games on the bounce here, it opens things up massively. But if they win a couple of games, it will pretty much solidify their spot at the top.
It does. You got to look at it and you got to go, how many games do I really need to win to make the playoffs in the IPL? And I think if you win 8 games, you're going to be there. So I think Chennai and Sunrisers probably need 2 more wins, which sounds crazy, but they only play 14 games, so there's only 6 games left. If you've won 8 games, how many other teams are going to be able to match 8 games wins? It's going to be really, really difficult because you do see teams just beating each other every so often. Those guys, if they have a good week, back end of this week, those guys are there.
Yeah, I'm liking my pick for the final. I think it was CSK against Sunrisers for me.
I think mine was...
I think it might have been.
RCB versus Mumbai Indians, I think.
Could have been worse.
It could have been worse. I'm glad I didn't have Mumbai winning.
Yeah, we need to check that, mate. We're going to have to go back to the IPL preview pod and write down, make a note of who we predicted, because we need to live and die by these predictions.
We do. I keep coming back to Chris Lynn in my conversation, Mitchell Stoinis. Marcus Stoinis, Mitchell Stoinis. I'm creating a new player because Marcus is not performing at all.
In an alternate universe, there is Murali Kartik and Mitchell Stoinis.
They're probably excellent players as well, mate. Shall we let's take a quick look at some of the top run scorers going on in the competition, because we keep mentioning the same names every single time who keep stepping up for the team, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So Rishabh Pant, top of the tree at the moment, 375 runs, 1 innings more, but he's 5 runs ahead of next place, which is Ambatu Rayudu for CSK in 370. Virat, the almost godlike figure Virat Kohli, 349 runs from his 8 innings. Kane Williamson, 322 for Sunrisers. No surprise that he's the only Sunrisers I can see in the top 15 or so. SSER for Delhi Daredevils as well, 307. So 2 Delhi Daredevils players in the top 5, which is telling me they've got a damn good chance.
Yep.
MS Dhoni for CSK again, 286. Yadav for Mumbai, 283. He's the only Indians player in the top anywhere. And then the Royals, they've got Sanju Samson. We could do with him. He's just gone a little bit quiet, hasn't he, of late? He's got 1 score recently, but we could do with him just kicking on again.
Yeah.
And then Shane Watson, 281. So Chennai have got Rayudu, MS Dhoni, and Shane Watson, 3 players in the top 10. Kind of gives you an idea of why they're doing so well.
Yeah, it definitely does. I do, not only just living down in New Zealand, but I love to see Kane Williamson doing well. I think he's such a special player that he plays, it doesn't matter what format of the game it is, he plays the game the same way. He still hits proper cricket shots and scores runs. It's not just about bashing the ball to the boundary. And it's just really good to see someone play the game in that way and do well in all 3 formats when you get so many guys that just want to be a white ball merchant and go smashing the ball. He plays cricket, and I'm a big fan of that. And also the other one, Mahendra Singh Dhoni. It's a bit of a nostalgia pick in the top 5 or 6, but how good is it to see Dhoni with a helicopter shot coming out, smashing the ball to all parts?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just worth mentioning a couple of other players as well. They're not at the top of the tree, but A.B. de Villiers, he's played at least 2 innings less than everybody else, and he's on 280 runs.
Yeah.
So it's not going to take him much more to jump up that table. And also Chris Gale, he's played at least 4 innings less than everybody else, and he's on 252 runs. So it's definitely worth mentioning those fellas. My tip for top scorer, Suresh Raina, he's after 7 innings, he's on 205 runs. Obviously missed a couple of games through injury, so he's there or thereabouts, but he's a long way off it at the moment, isn't he? So some cracking performances. Rishabh Pant, he's the one making a name for himself at the moment, though, isn't he?
He is. He's doing great. Let's tip our hat and start taking a quick look at the bowling, because Sunrisers have been on fire in this competition with their bowling performances. How do they look in this top 10 list of wicket takers?
Two of them. Siddharth Kaul is in 4th spot with 11 wickets, but Trent Bolt is top of the table with 13 for the Delhi Daredevils. Then it's the Hardik of the Pandyas.
Yep.
He tops the 11 wickets from 7 games, and then it's Makande for Mumbai, Siddharth Kaul for Sunrisers, and Yadav all on 11 wickets. Rashid Khan for Sunrisers, he then pops up with 10 wickets. So there is the 2 of them there. This is the crazy thing for me, Rob, just jumping across to Mumbai. Second place, Hardik Pandya with 11. Markande, 11, third place. We then move down to the 10th place, I believe it is, and Krunal Pandya is on 8 wickets. JJ Bumrah is on 9 wickets. They've got 4 or 5 players in the top 10. 5 players. Mitch McLennan, I missed him, 9 wickets. That's 1, 2, 3.
That's ridiculous.
5 in the top 10. How are they bottom with that bowling?
Oh, they're just
ludicrous.
It's you talk about life is a game of inches, any given Sunday film. Life is a game of inches, and they are losing games by literal inches of effort or application in the field or just a boundary time and time again. It would be very easy to look at this Mumbai team in an alternate universe and say, hey, they've won 6 games and lost 2 and be right at the top. But they're just not. They're just not good enough with their top 6 batting to replicate the hard work that the bowlers are doing.
Yeah. A couple of little notable mentions here as well. Mitch McLennan, he's got 9 wickets, so he's 4 wickets off Trent Boult for the top. But he's actually played 3 games less than Trent Boult.
Yeah.
So it shows you how well he's doing for Mumbai. And also Chris Wokes, he's down just outside the top 10. He's on 8 wickets, but he's only played 5 games. So that's 4 games less than Trent Boult and 3 games less than most people. So people like Chris Wokes, Mitch McLennan, they're guys to keep an eye on to maybe see if they can get that top spot. But Trent Boult, somebody I don't think we mentioned too much when we were talking about the preview, but the way he played against England, the way he was bowling, we probably should have given him a bit more credit. Yeah. He's probably in the form of his life at the minute, and if he's not taking wickets, he's taking stunning catches.
Yeah, that catch, bro. He's a skillful, almost Jimmy Anderson-esque. I put him in the skillful category. He's very good at his craft. One thing I always like to do when I look at the bowlers, and what have I been talking about all day? I've been talking about dot balls build pressure. So
everybody sorry. I'm just going to jump in here. Everybody wants to see 6s and 4s and amazing incidents and big catches and all the rest of it. Rob's there, give me a dot ball.
Give me a good dot ball. It makes me happy. If I'm sat here with my scorebook, putting a little dot in there. I'm like, well bowled, son.
Sharpen the pencil.
Yeah. I love a good dot ball. I love a good bit of pressure. I like to see how people perform under pressure. And the real top guy when it comes to the economy rates for me is an economy rate of 6.51. He's not number 1, but given the amount of overs he's bowled, I'm making him number 1. And it's the young Afghanistan lad, Rahman, with a 6.51 off 27 overs, which is absolutely phenomenal. But you look at the names up there, and they're all, this again, dumb comment, they're all good bowlers who have consistently done it, and the guys we see near the top. Incredibly, one of them is JJ Bumrah from Mumbai Indians. He has an economy rate of 7 from 32 overs, which, again, is very, very good. You've got Pandya up there. Oh, you've got my man, the MVP. You've got Marcus Stoinis with an economy rate of 7 off his 1 over.
Well, I would give him the MVP just for that.
I know. But there's just... It's just solid. You look at Sunrisers, okay? So you've got Thampi, you've got Al Hassani, you've got Rashid Khan, all going between 7.13 and 7.25 and over for the whole tournament. Pathan, Sunrisers, going at 7s. That is why they're doing so good. Chris Jordan played 1 game, going at 7s for the Sunrisers. That's why they're so good. It's the dot balls that build the pressure, and it's the pressure that wins the game, and the Sunrisers are doing it better than anyone else. I don't know why I sound like I'm from Essex.
Big takeaway, though, for the IPL now. Nothing. You can take your batsman, you can take your big 6-hitting batsman, and you can just chuck them in the bin. We're not interested. Oh. It's all about low scores and defending it with economy rates and dot balls. That's what the IPL is all about. That's what get people in there. It's not about these 6s and your 4s.
It is. It's what I tune in for, mate. If someone's trying to hit a 6, I'm like, no, where's your forward defence on? Show me some technique.
Get that front elbow higher, lad. Get that ball on the ground.
Brilliant.
Yeah. Right, that's where we are. So we look forward to it. We're about, not quite 2/3 of the way through, but not far off in the IPL. It's all about Chennai. It's all about Sunrisers. It's all about the royalty, Kings 11, isn't it, in 3rd place. Let's see how it goes, Rob. It's exciting times in the IPL, and we're going to be picking up again next week, I'd assume, with another standalone as long as there's not as much news.
We definitely will be. We'll be back next week with what's more is going on. Guys, if you've liked the podcast, don't forget to leave a like below if you're on YouTube, if you're on Apple, Android, YouTube, wherever you are. Make sure you subscribe to never miss an episode again, and drop us a follow. We're on Facebook at the Leading Edge Podcast. We're on Twitter at Leading Edge Pod. We've been abbreviated by Twitter to Leading Edge Pod, but there's always posts going on there, and in fact, we've got one review right now from Graham Page on our Facebook page. There you go. Which is actually my favourite review that we've had so far, Rich, don't you think?
I've got to a point, they're all my favourites. It's definitely my favourite 4-star review.
It's my favourite 4-star review. It's the only 4-star review. Everyone else is 5, just saying. But
I'm happy with this one.
Yeah, definitely. So he's put excellent in-depth cricket podcast. And I think we can all agree that we're trying to cover the whole globe from England to New Zealand and everything in between. I feel like I've said that line before. And only losing point, so we've gone from a 5-star to a 4-star, is for the Nottinghamshire accents. Hard to listen to if you're used to the local Derby language.
Well, I have no real response to that I can put on that we don't have to put the explicit note on the podcast. So I'm sat here in my forest top.
It's a top review. It made us both laugh out loud, and you could say it made us ruffle, roll on floor laughing, but you might not be into that sort of language. But it's a good review. It's an honest review, and there's not a lot I can do about the Nottinghamshire accent.
No, well, it could be worse. It could be your pretend New Zealand one.
Oh, bro, my name's Roxy. I'm Inique.
Yeah, no, we appreciate it. Yeah, get your reviews, get on there. Keep spreading the word, people, as well. Keep sharing this about. And dig out, if this is the first time you've come and had a listen. Listen back. We've got some cracking interviews that have just been done. Paul Johnson, the ex-Nottinghamshire player, you might not know his name, but 30,000 runs in first-class cricket. One of the best players to never play for England.
Yeah.
And then also, in the last week or so, to BBC, BBC, the finest establishment in the world for commentary. Maybe some people agree with that, maybe others don't. But yeah, we had 2 of their boys, Dave Bracegirdle and Martin Emerson, that cover Nottinghamshire and Durham respectively. Give that a listen as well. It's we've got loads goes going, and also we had an interview with the Icelandic captain, didn't we?
Icelandic as well. Ex-captain and current cricket chairman, Jacob Robinson. Which their story is absolutely superb, isn't it?
Yeah, it's absolutely, mate. It's stunning. So make sure you listen to that and go and dig out. Go and have a listen to these podcasts. Go and have a listen. Download them. Do it on your way to work. Do it while you're in the bath. Do whatever you're doing whenever you're doing it. But just make sure you're listening and get in touch. If it's a reply on Twitter that doesn't make much sense and there's quite a few spelling mistakes, it's Rob. If it seems like a good response and there's no spelling mistakes, it'll probably be from me.
Yes, I agree with that, Rich. Thank you very much, my friend. Absolutely excellent conversation about IPL and Cricket Australia once again. Anything else from yourself?
No, all good.
Excellent. Thank you, guys. You've been legends. Until next time.